At CHI Mercy Health, we believe human kindness is at the root of all healing, providing care on a human level, courage when it's needed most, and a connection that's ever present among us all. Human kindness is meant to be shared. It puts a smile on someone's face and seeks to do the same for others. Take the time to nourish what's inside and watch your life flourish outside, because taking care of yourself is an act of human kindness. Just like human kindness, happiness can come from the most unexpected places. Whether it's from your friend, your dog, or a memory, embrace it and pass it on. CHI Mercy Health of Valley City.
All right, we're moments away from Highliner Wrestling action here at the Highliner Activity Center. As we'll give you the starters here in just a few moments. We'll step aside for a break. When we come back, you'll get those right here on KOVC.
The keys to the game are brought to you by RE/MAX Now of Valley City and Jamestown. Just as the keys to today's game offer growth, success, and opportunity for the future, so do the keys to your new property. Whether you're looking for the keys to your starter home, the keys to home where you raise your family, the keys to your business, or the keys to your lake home or retirement property, for every step of the way, RE/MAX Now of Valley City and Jamestown are here for you. Check out our website, findrealtynow.com, for pictures and virtual tours.
At Bank Forward, we focus on building relationships. Hi, I'm Kara Weep with Bank Forward in Valley City. Whether it's opening a checking account, saving for college, or starting your own business, Bank Forward is the bank big enough to help, but we're small enough to know your name. Call 845-1220 or visit bankforward.com today. Striving to be the bank that defines customer service since 1927. It's simply the Forward way. Bank Forward, member FDIC.
Now is the time, now is the time.
Brothers 3 has the area's widest variety of classic and new ice fishing tackle at the lowest prices to give you the edge this year. Before heading out onto the ice, stop in and get your live bait and tackle and fill your tank on the highest quality of gas and diesel. Brothers 3 is your locally owned and operated convenience store. As always, Brothers 3 has the lowest prices in town on everything from snacks and drinks to winter gear to propane and automotive supplies. Remember, it pays to shop at Brothers 3.
Highliner Wrestling coming up here in just a couple moments. Anthony Verasso, Hunter Greenmeyer with you on the call of tonight's varsity duel between the Valley City Highliners and the Fargo South Bruins. Highliners, bit of a loss the other night in a triangular, but that was against one of the undefeated teams just like themselves, West Fargo Cheyenne. How do you rebound from that here tonight?
You know, you just got to take it one duel at a time. You know, at this point in the season, you got to go out there, get this win, keep your seeding for that tournament. And then ultimately, you really want to get back at them in that tournament, because then you're tied 1-1 in terms of duels. You're able to get that number one seed back to where you were. So if for state tournament, for the state tournament, you know, looking ahead and, you know, counting your chickens before they hatch, you would have the tiebreaker because you have the most recent win.
So the RE/MAX Now keys to the game, again, brought to you by RE/MAX Now, Valley City and Jamestown. First for the Bruins, you're shorthanded here tonight. What's the mindset for them coming into this one?
Make it count. You know, if you're gonna upset big.
Gonna be a Bear Breed Grizzly type of thing?
Yeah, you know, you're giving up a lot of points just in terms of not having wrestlers. So, you know, when you when you go out there to win, as she shakes hands for the wrestler, but you got to make your wins count.
And for the keys to the game, the RE/MAX Now keys to the game for the Highliners.
Don't give them the chance to be in the duel. Finish it early. Take advantage of that big lead you're going to have and run with it.
I mean, so those are the RE/MAX Now keys to the games brought to you by Valley City and Jamestown. You wrestled all throughout high school. Like, if you're on the Highliners, what is your thought process coming into this one? You know, you're one of the top teams here in the EDC. You're taking on a team who's got, I think, 7 or 8 wrestlers short-handed tonight. Like, how do you stay focused?
You know, as bad as this is going to sound, we always wanted to make sure they never won a match. We wanted that to say 0 on their side. We wanted to prove, you know, Oaks, you know, bounced between 2 and 3 in the region, so we were, you know, right on the edge of making it to state a lot of years. We made it to state 1 year as a dual team. And if you're one of those top teams, you want to prove it.
So they're announcing the wrestlers here on the mat as we're live here at the Highliner Activity Center here this evening, getting ready for some varsity wrestling matchups. Highliners split in a triangular the other night. They won the first one over Grand Forks Red River, I would say pretty easily, 77-6. Yeah, that's right, 2 7s to a 6, so that's pretty good. But then they lost their other triangular matchup against West Fargo Cheyenne, 48-28. Can you take a moral victory, I guess, out of that Cheyenne loss?
You know, I guess I don't know how the matches went for them. I would assume your heavy hitters hit. You know, the Greebles probably both picked up wins, and they probably won big. They probably got pins. But you got to turn some of those 50-50 matches, maybe the ones you lost, because like when I talk about point swings, so if we win a match we're not supposed to win just by decision, we get 3 points. But then we also take 3 points away from the other team because they no longer win that weight class. So, you know, pre-duels, coaches always have it. They always go through it, and they're like, we're probably going to lose this weight class. We'll lose here. We'll lose here. And just because they lost that duel doesn't mean they're going to come in with the exact same lineup. You're going to move kids around so you have your studs against their studs, and then you have those 50-50 matchups in other places to see if you can get it to go your way this time.
So getting ready for this matchup, Highliners and Bruins right here on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. They got 3 Highliner wrestlers on the mat right now. They flipped the coin to the one Bruin. Now, what happens when you flip that coin? Say you win the coin toss.
Basically, what you're flipping for, obviously the sides are already picked, and you really don't get a ball in this. So what you're doing is you're flipping for odds or evens. So on the even weight classes, you will show your weight first. Like it's basically just who has to show first at alternating weight classes.
Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying for the listeners and basically myself as well, because you know what, we're all here to learn as much as possible. So right now, coming up first is the 106 weight class. Tyson Claybo set to go for your Highliners against, well, it's open for the Bruins. So let's see what happens here. Claybo checks in. Highliners in the powder blue singlets tonight. So it's an open, and it's a win just like that for Tyson Claybo, and it's going to be a victory for Valley City on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard. They now lead it 6-0.
Those were always my favorite wins because I never had to go out there and wrestle and get it. I just was awarded it. It's always fun getting your hand raised.
Second wrestling matchup, 113 weight class. Colton Griebel against, well, we'll see. They have an open spot right now. Griebel's going to walk to the center, and it's another forfeit win for Valley City. Just like that on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard tonight, 12-0 Highliners in the lead. As we announce these wrestlers for the lineups, those are brought to you by CHI Mercy Health in Valley City. Hello to Human Kindness. There's pretty much no timeouts in wrestling in the matchups. If there were, brought to you by Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. A little bit of Guns N' Roses now. As coming on to the mat is Deegan Kirschenmann for the 120 weight class. And just like that, Deegan will win her matchup via forfeit as well, and it's now 18-0 Highliners on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard. Now for the 120 weight class, Coy Griebel will step up, and we have a wrestler for the Fargo South Bruins. That is Nathan Hockstadt. So we're going to get a matchup here in the weight class of 126. Coy Griebel on the left, Hockstadt on the right, and we are underway. Fargo South, their singlet, white on top, black on the bottom, as Coy Griebel right away aggressive. What are you seeing from Griebel here?
You know, he just did a little slide by into a tilt already. So he on the slide by, he kind of shucked the arm right by him, got behind him, kept the arm, and now he's going back for a double leg.
Coy Griebel has a 2-0 lead here in the first period. Make that 2-1. Now it's a 4-1 lead for Griebel in the 126 weight class. Highliners already up 18-0 on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, and he's just working. He's getting his cardio. He's getting his sweat in so he makes weight for the weekend.
Hockstadt grabs another point, 4-2 Griebel.
I had this problem all weekend. He would run up the score and cut him and run the score up. I was constantly having to sing escape, takedown, escape as he's going in for another takedown, and he gets it, bringing the score 8-3. And he's going to cut him again.
So Coy Griebel pretty much just kind of, you don't want to say toying with his opponent, but he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, and there he gets another takedown, 10-4. What he's doing here isn't necessarily toying with his opponent, as his opponent gets an escape, 10-5 now.
Both wrestlers off the mat. Referee blows the whistle. They have to go back to the center of the mat. 10-5. Corey Griebel in the lead on his opponent.
12-5 now.
You can't even finish talking about it. 45 seconds left here in the first period of this matchup. Highliners lead it on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard 18-0 thanks to 3 consecutive forfeits via the Fargo South Bruins.
As he goes right into a cradle, it's 14-6. He has it locked up. He scoops the leg, brings him back over, looking for the pin. He's going to get it.
Just like that.
24-0 in terms of team score as Colton Griebel gets Coy Griebel gets the pin up 14-6. And as I was trying to say, but he kept scoring, so I didn't get to talk. He's not necessarily toying with him. He needs to keep his cardio up. He needs to get his sweat in because he needs to still make weight for this weekend's tournaments. So you want to go out there and get sweaty. You don't want to just, go out there and win your match before you get your workout in pretty much.
Coy Griebel, pinfall, first period, 136 into that one. Now it's the 132 weight class. It'll be Joshua Redfern taking on Aaron Truong. So Redfern, an 8th grader, Truong, a 10th grader, a sophomore. Both opponents shake hands, and this matchup's underway. Highliners leading it big, 24-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. 3 consecutive forfeits, and then Coy Griebel a pinfall victory.
Yeah, and this is a tough one to follow up with those 3 opens. You kind of meet a buzzsaw of a wrestler, as I call it, as Aaron picks up a leg here. Joshua doing a good job whizzing out. Not quite enough, though, as Aaron gets a takedown on the edge of the mat there for the Bruins.
So Aaron Truong of the Bruins has a 2-0 lead here in this matchup. $1:32 left here in the first period of the 132 weight class. Highliners leading at 24-0 overall on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard.
Aaron just grabbing on to an arm now on top, doing what we call a chop, trying to get that, and he does get the arm across the waist. Or he gets Joshua's arm drug across the waist, trying to get a tilt in. Loses it, but he has the eye on, and he has a awkward cradle locked up almost. He has a leg in, and he kind of just tried to spladle him, but now he's going up over the top again, and he almost gives Joshua the reversal on that one.
Excellent job by Redfern to break free on that reversal. Tied up at 2 here. 57 seconds left in this first period.
Yeah, Aaron just kind of going up over the top of the head. When you're on top, you want to stay behind the arms, just like Redfern is doing here. He's behind the arms, keeping his pressure on. As a wrestler, one of your most valuable assets is really your weight. You want to keep that weight on him as Redfern gets a chicken wing locked up. He's got it in tight. He's just got to take that first big bottom step, and he does. He gets the shoulder caught in the mat. He readjusts into a half Nelson, now into a headlock. He has got back points now. He's got 2 in the pocket for sure. Going for a full count, maybe looking for more. He's got to switch his hips here if he wants to fall. 12 seconds left in the first.
Tied up at 2 in this matchup. Very close, and there it is. Redfern gets the win via another pinfall. $1:55 into the first period. And just like that, Highliners in the lead on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard here tonight, 30-0 overall. You're talking about the hip movement there for Redfern. What exactly were you hoping to see from him?
So he kind of had the chicken wing, and then he readjusted out of it once he got Truong's shoulder caught in the mat, and he had him basically going over. In order to tighten that up, you almost have to kind of scissor kick on the mat and just kind of tighten it up a little more to get the angle you need. But obviously can't argue with the results. Valley City Highliners are up 30-0.
So Espen Kunze to wrestle in the 138 weight class. He'll be taking on Timothy Lentz. So Kunze listed at 145, but he's going to be wrestling in the 138 weight class. Highliners lead at 30-0. This matchup scoreless right now, 145 remaining in the first period. 2 points now awarded to Kunze.
Yeah, and going into that, I think this is kind of the time of the year where you see some kids kind of bouncing around weight classes, trying to figure out where they want to be for their individual tournament. But at the same time, you want to keep them in a spot that's going to help the dual team.
Referee blows the whistle as both opponents came off the mat, so it looks like Kunze will start back on top when we get back underway.
And all of these Valley City wrestlers right here, as Kunze locks up a chicken wing. These wrestlers love the chicken wing. A chicken wing is pretty much what it is. You know, you bend the other wrestler's arm into a chicken wing as he does get the shoulder caught into the mat, and he's going over with it. Kunzi's got to get back points here. He's got to settle back and catch the head. He misses it, but he does pick up 2 back points. 4-0 minute left in the first. And right back into it. He's looking to get that chicken wing again. Now he's working on the bar arm. He's getting, these Valley City wrestlers, they're tough on the arm. Their job is to wear your shoulders out when they're on top. Now Kunzi has Lentz's arm across his back.
And that's something you'll really note later on in like the third period if it gets there, right? Like your shoulders and your arms are pretty much burnt out.
Yeah, there was 2 things as a wrestler that I always hated have happen to me. When people were tough on my arms and tough on my head. As Kunzi puts him to his back here, looking for the fall, it'd be their 6th straight pin. It looks like he's going to get it.
There it is. Just like that, Highliners once again in the pinfall.
I don't know if you could draw it up much better than that for the Highliners. Their first 6 matches, and they walk away with 36 points. They have the most points possible right now that they could have.
That's incredible. So they get the first 3 match wins thanks to forfeits and then 3 consecutive pins. Guns N' Roses blaring once again. Good song right there, Sweet Child of Mine. 36-0. Highliners lead it on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard.
It looks like we have a substitution here.
At 145 pounds for the Highliners,
Hunter Undum will wrestle at 145. So a little bit of switching there.
Looks like he's going to receive a forfeit maybe. Yep, he does.
There you go. Hunter Undum picks up the win.
At 152 pounds for the Bruins, Jamari Humphrey. And for the Highliners, Ethan Miller.
So we're back here, 152 weight class now. Ethan Miller to take on Jamari Humphrey. Highliners now up 42-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard here tonight. These 2 athletes on the mat getting underway, scoreless with 10 seconds into this first period.
And when we talked about those heavy hitters for the Highliners, Ethan Miller's name certainly in the conversation, coming off a tournament championship at the Storhog.
It's a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, as he picks up a nice ankle pick and already working on the shoulders, got a half locked up. And kind of an awkward position for the half, but nonetheless an uncomfortable one. As Jamari is now on his back. Ethan Miller with the leg in and a crossface. Picks up some back points, got 2 in the pocket, and that's what he's going to be awarded. 4-0, minute 15 left in the first.
Valley City doing what you said, Hunter, in the pregame show and here at the top of the hour. Don't take a team lightly. Basically, go for the kill right away.
Yeah, if you get a chance to end it. Ethan now has another half locked in, this time much tighter. But Jamari, a good job getting that hand off his head, and he gets out of it. I was thinking we were going to maybe see the 8th straight pin there, but he got out of it. Kind of almost looked like he dislocated his shoulder to get out of it, but he got out of it nonetheless.
Wrestlers reset as they both went off the mat. 4-0. Ethan Miller in the lead with 50 seconds left here in the first period. Highliners have either gotten forfeit wins or pinfall victories to this point. They lead at 42-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard.
And Ethan hits a half again. He's been trying to get that this whole first period, and this time he gets it. But again, Jamari doing a good job fighting it off for the most part. He's got 30 seconds left. That's a long time to fight off your back. I've done that a few times. It's not fun. Ethan looking for the 8th straight 6-point win, and there he gets it.
Highliners another pinfall victory, so the streak continues for them. Either a pinfall or a forfeit. Now they lead big 48-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard. Weight class of 160 scheduled to be next, but we'll see if a change happens. We've seen a couple changes so far. Ryer Muskie for Valley City. And let's see for the Bruins. It'll be Xander Mooney for the Bruins.
Muskie, an 8th grader, getting after the head right away. Throws him by to the ground, gets a quick 2-point takedown. And in typical Valley City fashion, working hard on those arms and shoulders. Already has him broken down to his belly. Mooney, a good job getting back to his base, fighting off the half.
Ryer Muskie with a 2-0 lead here. 1:32 left in this first period.
You can tell the team style. We've seen it multiple times throughout the night. As Muskie uses the arm and wraps it around his own head to get Mooney to his back, and he's now getting back points. You know, kind of a unique move, but quite effective. Used his head, and he's looking for what would be the ninth straight win by fall here.
So far, it's been a great night for the Highliners, up 48-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard, as Ryer Muskie has a 2-0 lead on his opponent right now with 50 seconds left here in this first period.
And that's tight now. And there it is.
So the streak continues for Valley City as they get this one. Well, 1 minute and 13 seconds into the first period, extending their lead, 54-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard.
And in case we didn't guess this one by now, 54-0, Valley City has clinched the duel at this point. Valley City is going to get the win tonight. It's just a matter of how many points can they put up now. And, you know, like I said, when you're a part of a blowout, or if you were the one being blown out, as Isaiah Schuldeis picks up a forfeit, now up 60-0. You're kind of trying to stop the bleeding. You want to, if you're the Bruins, you want to pick up a match here that you can kind of say, okay, we can build off this now. And if you're the Highliners, you're like, well, let's see how many points we can score. So you kind of have two ends to this.
Tyson Hovland to Russell at 182 weight class. Connor Morgan will be his opponent. So Highliners have either won via a pinfall or a forfeit here tonight. They lead at 60-0 overall on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard here this evening, already the 27th of the month of January.
Hovland a little bit undersized in this match, obviously wrestling up to the 182-pound weight class, but getting after the head right away, looking to get a snap down too. He's got the front head. He picks the leg up out of it, reaching for the far ankle, now in what I would call a bad single, picks it up, gets the leg over his head. Oh, now he flies too far over, and Morgan gets the takedown.
Yeah, a little momentum here for the Bruins. They have their wrestler, that's Connor Morgan, with a 2-0 lead currently with $1:20 left here in this first period against Tyson Hovland.
Hovland does a good job getting the hand and getting up, now 1-2, and right back into that front head. Hovland very close to getting the takedown in that scenario. Kind of got a little too excited and got a little too far ahead of himself as he's got the leg again. And he does get the takedown at the edge of the mat. Not out of bounds, though. 3-2 in favor of Hovland now, as Morgan gets to his feet and out of bounds now.
Yeah, referee blowing the whistle as both opponents very close to the wood floor here, just outside of the mat. We're live at the Highliner Activity Center on this Thursday night. Highliners lead it big on the scoreboard. Brought to you by LaRue Lockout Financial, 60-0. As Hunter said earlier, they've already clinched the duel, so they'll keep going here on a hot start to the season.
Yep, and, you know, again, I keep saying this of the Valley City Wrestlers, but they're just working the arms already, which, you know, on paper it's a great game plan. Hovland tries to tilt now, doesn't get it, still has it locked up, now climbing back up, looking for probably a chicken wing here.
Hovland has a 3-2 lead over Connor Morgan, 25 seconds left in the first period.
And he does get the chicken wing. He gives up the arm, though. Morgan does a good job getting his arm out of that.
This is a 182 weight class with 12 seconds left in period number 1. 3-2 lead so far for Tyson Hovland.
Hovland kind of in a crossface, but I think he's going to just ride this one into the next period, knowing he's probably not going to get the pin out of this move.
So for the first time tonight, we will go to a second period in this wrestling matchup. As we've said so far, Highliners all win so far, either pinfall or forfeit.
You know, not often do you get to say that, you know, you're at the 182 weight class and you're finally getting to the second period.
Here we go as Valley City will start off on top. Hovland of the Highliners with a 3-2 lead over Connor Morgan as period number 2 is underway. Highliners lead it 60-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard.
Hovland staying heavy on the arm. Tries to tilt from there. Still has it locked up. Doesn't get it, though. Returns Morgan to the mat as they go out of bounds and bring it back to the center. Minute 40 left in the second period now. All these Valley City wrestlers, you can tell that the coaching emphasis was be tough and mean on top. I say mean in the sense that you're working the other guy, trying to tire him out, and you're looking to get the pin.
Hovland starts back on top. 1:35 left in period number 2. Hovland enjoying a 3-2 lead over his opponent Morgan right now. Highliners really enjoying the overall score. It's 60-0. They lead it.
Yeah, and you know, one of the marks of a great wrestling team is like lopsided wins like this right now. If you can put up points like this, chances are when you get into a close duel, you're going to have a good chance to keep putting up points.
Well, it's like in any kind of sport, right? The great teams, if you want to be great, you need to really take advantage against the lesser teams.
Yep. As Hovland gets a chicken wing here and stacks him and pins him. So there we go. It took about a minute longer than the other matches, but we ended up with the same result. Hovland picks up the pin at 182 pounds, bringing the score 66-0, going into the 195-pound end. You know, now we go Broden Muskie, Jonas Scholdheis. Both these guys were in the finals at the Starhawk tournament, so some tough wrestlers, and now you're looking, it probably comes down to the heavyweight match here for the Bruins.
So it's a battle of football players here for the weight class 195. Broden Muskie against Dorian Sandness. Highliners have already clinched this duel. They lead it 66-0 here in period number 1 between Broden Muskie and Dorian Sandness. If you're the Bruins, you know, are you just pretty much wrestling for pride now?
You know, chances are, if you were the Bruins coming into this duel, and you know, probably most of their duels this season, just not having the numbers that they need and having some younger kids in the lineup anyway, as Broden Muskie hits a bear hug and into a half Nelson. But if you do come into duels like this, as Broden Muskie now flips him to his back, looking for the fall, kind of out of position, needs to readjust. But you probably already knew you weren't going to have a great dual team, so you do individualize the sport. You look more towards, I need to do this for myself, and I need to win this match for myself.
And Muskie, just like that, keeps that streak going. Win via pinfall once again for Valley City. Broden Muskie winning this one very quickly. There's 1:12 left here in the first period. Highliners now lead it 72-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. 48 seconds is all it took for Muskie to win. Jonas Scholdheis in the weight class of 220 will take on Jamison Mesmer. So if you're Valley City, you're up with a shutout on the scoreboard. Are you trying to keep that tonight?
Yeah.
Like, even though you've already won this duel pretty handedly, you still want to, you know, take some pride in the fact that, yeah, we shut them out.
Yeah, you know, like I said, as bad as it sounds, you want to shut them out. You feel it's kind of your exclamation point cherry on top.
Right.
As Scholdheis gets a takedown here early in the first period.
He leads it 2-0 over Jamison Mesmer. It's the weight class 220. Highliners lead it big on the scoreboard, 72-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial scoreboard. As I said, that Mesmer gets a point. It's now 2-1 in favor of Jonas Scholdheis.
I have to say it, and knock on wood, so in case it happens, I don't know if I've ever been at a tournament or a duel where a team has completely shut out the other team in terms of wrestling.
4-1 as Scholdheis gets 2 points.
And Scholdheis right into a chicken wing. The Valley City Special, I'll call it now. I think they've earned that name as they picked up multiple falls tonight as the dual score now 78-0 going into the heavyweight match. And I don't know if the Bruins have a heavyweight.
So here we go. It's supposed to be Devin Thornton against. It's listed as Caden Nielsen.
I don't think they have anyone.
Gonna wait and see. And that will do it.
A clean sweep.
I mean, how many times do you see that in wrestling where, you know, I know they're shorthanded, the Bruins, but it's a clean sweep, and none of them went past the second period. It was all pinfalls or forfeits.
Never. And like I brought it up at the beginning of this in our pregame, but we saw it when they were shaking hands. They had their elementary program running out with the varsity wrestlers. It starts there. And if you're not built, Fargo South, obviously a Fargo school, just for me being Class B, I always kind of expected those Class A schools to have full lineups. Just kind of a surprising thing that they had so many opens that, who knows, with sicknesses or injuries, that could be affecting their lineup. But almost never have I seen a complete sweep such as this.
So Valley City continues their dominance here on the season. They get the win over the Fargo South Bruins by a score of 84-0 on the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard. We'll step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up live at the Highliner Activity Center on KOVC.
You need a building, and you need it now. Look into Winkler Structures, available at Smith Lumber Company in Valley City. From a quick build utility to bigger dome structures for cattle, machinery, or hay storage, Winkler Structures are designed for strength and security with their no-compromise fabric and high-strength structural steel. These buildings have stood the test of time for today's cost-conscious customer. Customize your Winkler structure at Smith Lumber Company, East Main, Valley City. Call 845-2135. Looking for great deals on quality yarn? Find plenty of yarn at 15% off at Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, your community Health Mart pharmacy. Get your next needlecraft project started right away. 15% off all yarn. Flu and cold season is here. For all your healthcare needs and prescriptions, see your trusted healthcare resource, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, downtown Valley City. Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Hi, I'm Corey Anderson, a proud Viking graduate and Executive Director for University Advancement at VCSU. Did you know last year alone the progress at Valley City State resulted in more than $100 million of economic benefit for our community? Our success at VCSU creates a ripple effect, and we are proud to partner in this community. But we can't do it alone. Please consider supporting the V500 Scholarship Program. A gift for a student is a gift to our community. Find easy ways to give by visiting give.vcsu.edu.
Highliners wrestling team continuing to have a great season. They pick up the shutout victory over the Fargo South Bruins by a final score of 84-0. Anthony Verasso, Hunter Greenmeyer, we're on the call here at the Highliner Activity Center on this Thursday night. Hunter, we were just talking off the air. I mean, you've never seen anything like this. Yeah, I know the Fargo South Bruins are shorthanded, but, I mean, to get a shutout, nothing went past the midway point of the second period. It was either pinfalls or forfeits for Valley City.
Yeah, and I was a part of a real lopsided duel my senior year when we dueled South Border. We only won 2 matches that entire time. But South Border didn't get pins the entire way through it, and we had a full lineup. So I think the score was like 60-6 or something along that lines. And even then, that was like, wow, 60-6. That's kind of, you talk about blowouts, that's a blowout, but 84-0 with clean pins across the board, unheard of.
So the buzzer in the background, they're just doing some exhibition JV matchups here at the Highliner Activity Center. So let's give you the official scores, I guess you want to call it here, for Valley City. Tyson Claybo winning his 106 weight class via forfeit. Colton Griebel, the same thing, but for 113 weight class. And Deegan Kirschenmann made it 3 in a row forfeit wins for Valley City. That was the weight class of 120. Finally, Coy Griebel got in some action, and it didn't last long. He got a pinfall victory, 136 into the first period, made it 24-0 Valley City. Joshua Redfern took 155 to get his pinfall victory, and then Hunter Endom, we'll give you him in a second here, as Espen Kunze wrestled in the 138 weight class. He got a pinfall victory. Hunter Endom, 145 weight class, he got a victory as a forfeit. Ethan Miller, pinfall victory, made it 48-0. Ryan Muskie, 113, He got a pinfall victory in weight class 160. For the 170 weight class, that was a forfeit win for Isaiah Schultheis. Tyson Hovland took 59 seconds to get his pinfall victory here this evening. Broden Muskie, 48 seconds, all he needed for the weight class of 195 for the win. Jonas Schultheis, only 54 seconds of action here this evening for the weight class of 220. That made it 78-0 Valley City. And then Devin Thornton, the heavyweight, he just walked out, put his hand in the air, got the win via a forfeit. And that's how Valley City was a clean sweep, getting the 84-0 victory here this evening at the Highliner Activity Center over the Fargo South Bruins. Next up for Valley City, they'll be in a duel at West Fargo January 29th at 1 p.m. And then they return here at the Highliner Activity Center for a home duel against Devils Lake. That's Monday night, 7 p.m. It's Parents' Night. Myself, Anthony Verasso, Hunter Greenmeyer will be here on the call for that one. So, Hunter, any final thoughts here tonight from Valley City High?
I got to say, they left me speechless tonight.
Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been a presentation of I3G Media Production. For Hunter Greenmeyer, I'm Anthony Verasso with you on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. The final score for the final time from the LaRue Lockout Financial Scoreboard. Your Valley City Highliner varsity wrestling team getting the win over the Fargo South Bruins by a score of 84-0. Well, Highliner wrestling action returns right here on KOVC Monday night. Until then, everybody, stay warm and drive safe.
You've been listening to Highliner Wrestling on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Today's match is brought to you by CHI Mercy Health, RE/MAX Now, Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, LaRue Lockout Financial, Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy, Bank Forward, Brothers 3, Insure Forward, Smith Lumber Company, Valley City State University, S&S Auto Electric, Valley Meat Supply, Grotberg Electric, Bridges Car Wash, Professional Eye Care Centers, Highline Electric, and Jamestown Regional Medical Center. Thanks for listening to Highliner Wrestling on the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
The Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Coming to the North Dakota Winter Show in Valley City, Tim Montana.
Stand for the flag till the day we're dead. We're every stitch of this American thread.
Country music's Renegade Band.
Dreaming